Well guys, I'm about to take the 250 out for a little bit of a spin, and I've had some issues with it. One of it is not starting, but now it starts up fine. So I wanted to just ride it for a little bit, get it warmed up, because it is a fun bike to ride. Now it is a little cold today here in the DC area. You know, like one thing that I'm finding is that I'm smelling coolant or something. I'm hoping that it's not anything. So, you know, this 250 rides really well. So I filled up the oil and I'm keeping a check. I don't see anything leaking or anything. But that's what happens when you are working on a bike. You have to take it for short strolls once in a while and really observe it. You have to smell what's happening to the bike. But look, the bike looks really fantastic. And from afar, this Ninja 250 looks like a 600. The old school Ninja 250 was actually a brilliant bike. I really like that old Ninja 250 because it gives you a little bit more touring aspect of riding. And the motor was a little bit simpler to work on than this one. And also had a center stand and a lot of options for windscreens and things like that. I think if you want a touring bike and you want a 250, the old version of this is actually better than this one. But this one is a much better bike for sport riding. It is faster. It is much more nimble in the corners. At least that's how it feels to me. And I've had both. I've had the old Ninja and the new Ninja. I've had actually 3 new Ninjas like this. Well, an 09 was basically a parts bike that I bought, and I had an 02 Ninja as well. So in total I had 4 Ninja 250s, and I really like them, man, because, you know, if you ride a lot, getting 70 miles to the gallon on these bikes is really an amazing amount. But then again, when you look at the NC 700, that got 70 miles to the gallon too, 65 really. So, but this bike is brilliant, and dare I say it, it's very beautiful. When you get on this bike, you know right away that it doesn't have power, but you don't get a Ninja 250 for the power. And then I wonder, like, why are people still buying Ninja 250s? Because you can get a Ninja 300 and 400 and CBR 250. There's all of these options for new riders. I think one of the reasons is that the Ninja 250 is a brand, it's a bike that's got a big following. And the CBR 250 was never that popular. They make the RC 390, I believe there's the Yamaha version, which is the YZF3, whatever it is. It seems like a lot of makers do have a motorcycle that's competing with the 250, and I think the 250 is the better deal. The KTM, you're going to get a much better bike. I don't think you're going to get as reliable a bike. I don't think you're going to get as durable a bike as you are with a 250. Now, the Achilles heel of this 250 in particular, the new Ninja, the Ninjet, or whatever you want to call it, is the fact that it's carbureted. And carbureted bikes, I am not going to lie, are a pain in the ass. And they're a pain in the ass if you don't ride them. If you ride this bike on a daily basis, it's not going to give you any problems. And most people never pile on a lot of miles. So this bike is a very good bike for people that ride. This is their first bike. You're riding casually. You want a bike to commute on, and you're going to ride it on a daily basis. But because of the fuel injection, or because of the lack of fuel injection, you're getting a bike that if you put it away for the winter, you might have problems starting it up if you don't winterize it properly. The idea, well, he's on the wrong side of the road. The idea of winterizing a bike is kind of a pain in the ass. That's why I really like the fuel injection bikes. You know, you just get on them and ride. But with these now older 250s, is that you can get amazing deals on them. you know, you can get a very low mileage Ninja 250 for what, like $2,000, maybe $1,500, $2,000. So, and there's a lot to be said about getting a 250. First of all, I think they make you a better rider because you have to constantly be shifting gears, and shifting gears is kind of fun to do if you have a 250, because you're constantly putting it in gear and giving it full throttle. And you can rev this bike really high. It revs to 12,000 RPMs. In comparison, my NC700, which is an inline 2, it revs to 6,000, so half of this one. This thing just revs to the moon. Also, with the Ninja 250, you have a large community of like-minded riders, and they've done a lot of the homework for you, so you can get parts from other bikes to fit here. I know I put, what is it? I put like a GSXR shock? No, I think I put a EX500 shock on my 08 Ninja, and that really tightened up the suspension. But there are shocks that are very compatible, because people have done everything under the sun on these bikes. They're very, the bike sounds really good. You know, for a 250, it doesn't sound good when it's idling, but when it's actually moving, the high revving nature of this bike, it sounds like a race bike, and then you look down and you're going like 60 miles an hour, which is slow. And I think that's the reason I bought the 08 Ninja 250 after I sold my ST1300. I was tired of getting speeding tickets, because on the FJR or ST1300 you have a rocket and you're basically going 100 miles an hour all the time, and you think you're going 40. Now this one at 60 miles an hour feels like you're going 100 miles an hour. That's the beauty of it. There are new beginner bikes, and a lot of bikes have different modes that you can pick. So if you're a new rider, you could pick a more powerful bike and kind of somehow limit yourself based on electronics modes, but you're paying a lot for it. And you can pick one of these Ninja 250s up for so cheap that it almost just doesn't make sense to get any other thing. This would be my choice for a beginner bike. It's just beginner and advanced, because it gives you, as an advanced rider, it gives you a very basic bike in a world where every single motorcycle is getting just so complex with all of these modes and electronic suspension. This one is just, you got a motor, you have a throttle, you have 17-inch wheels. It's the type of bike that makes a whole lot of sense. And I learned a lot from keeping this 250, because I worked on it a lot, put on tons of miles, so you had to learn how to work on bikes. So if you're going to get a new bike, you're a beginner, this is a good bike, because you can work on it yourself. It's very easy, it's cheap, all the parts for it are so cheap, and you're not going to get in trouble with the power. You're not going to twist the throttle and going to miss a corner, or it's going to be a lot harder to do that. And dare I say it, it's a good looking bike. Now that I remember, the reason it's smelling like coolant is that I did fill up the reservoir, and I think it's just spilling onto here from here. So this might be the reason. So let me look at that engine oil. It's still clear, so that's good. It's actually at a good level. So that's what that is, and that's the reason it's smelling like coolant. So that's that. It seems to be riding pretty well, this thing. So yeah, this bike, such a nice looking bike. I'm probably going to button it up. All I have to do really is just to give it some good rides. I think I'm going to change the oil just one more time to make sure that the gas is kind of completely off the bike. But It's such a simple bike, and it's so light. When you get on any other bike, oh, and just moving it around the garage, man, so much easier than the FJR. Kind of stuck here. The cops won't bother me.